Okay, how's it going, everybody? My name is Infamous Isaac, and I'm here with a video on Boruto Next Generations. And just so you all have some context, if I sound frustrated, it's because I recorded a 20-minute video on this already, and my mic was unplugged. So all that talking, all that yelling, all that screaming and crying and laughter and sadness and just pinnacle of human emotion is gone. That didn't happen, by the way. But I did record it, and it sucks that I lost it. But it is what it is, you know. Let's just try to get this done. Try to give the best uh, imitation of what it is. But don't worry, I'll do my best. So, anyways, the show ended literally today. Like at least part one ended today, and I don't know when it's coming back. I've seen some rumors like, oh, maybe it'll come back 3 months from now, maybe it'll come back a year from now. Like I don't know. The future of this show is uncertain, but one thing's for certain: the manga is doing good. Like there's no reason as to why it shouldn't come back. Cause like, look at it like this: Dragon Ball Super has taken a long time to come back, and it's not like they haven't been doing anything. Dragon Ball Super has literally had 2 movies come out in the span that it's been gone, and they've been massive successes, literally super successful. They had games come out in between then. Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is gonna come out. Xenoverse 3 DLC is still coming out. Fighters is still getting patches, but is coming to an end soon. It's like the Dragon Ball community is still alive, right? Boruto is the same way. Naruto Ninja Storm, well, a new Naruto Ninja Storm game's coming out. Not the fifth one, but a new Storm game's coming out. The manga's still doing great. There's still buzz about this anime. It's just there's no reason as to why you wouldn't continue, right? Except literally there's just no people who want to pick up this anime, but the people who animate this anime are the same people who animated original Naruto, you know, original Naruto and Shippuden. So why wouldn't they, right? Unless if there's internal conflict, whatever, I don't know. But regardless, if it comes back, or well, the question isn't if it'll come back, it's when it will come back. Because Naruto's too big of a property not to. But my thing is, I've been watching this since 2019, so around 4 years, I think. Around 4 years, yeah, because it came out 2017. And it was a friend of mine that got me into it. And then I got Reaper into it, and then we started watching it together. And it was fire. And we've been enjoying it. But the main problem, by the way, this is the spoiler free section. I forgot to mention that. I'll mention spoilers later. But the problem with it is that the anime and filler canon, excuse me, suck the wind out of the show so much, because you gotta realize this, right? The manga canon and filler take up so much of the show that I could bet you that over the course of the 6 years that it's been running, the show only has like 60 to 70, maybe even 80 episodes of manga canon, and that's being generous. I wouldn't be surprised if it has like 50. Like there is so little manga canon in this show, but it's so good when it's there. Like it's genuinely so enjoyable when the manga canon is there. So it hurts to see when every week I'm just saying they're like, oh boy, more anime and filler canon, yippee! It's like, come on, dog. I don't want to be here, literally forcing myself to enjoy this show when I'm not, you know. Like, and obviously I can drop the show, right? That's always an option. But I am trying my hardest to stay faithful to it and loyal and watch, hoping that the anime canon will be better than the last one. And most of the time, it is genuinely it is not. And I don't want it to come off like I don't have sympathy for the animators and the harsh workloads that they probably get. I understand, you know, I understand. It's people making this. It's not robots. It's not inhuman figures behind a curtain making this. It's people who have families who go home every day and sleep just to come back and get overtime workloads, you know? I don't blame them for being tired. I don't blame them for not being able to give their 100% in everything because it's hard to, you know? It's genuinely hard to. But I'm just looking at it in terms of the show. The show suffers because of this. And that's why I always mention transition it into a seasonal format. Shows have gained so much success from that format. Look at Attack on Titan. Even though it's stretched it to like its its maximum in terms of seasonal format, it's still as popular as ever, if not more popular. You have One Punch Man, amazingly popular. Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Revengers. You have Demon Slayer. You have My Hero Academia. These shows are doing so good for themselves. Or even like Dragon Ball Super, where they took a massive break and we still don't know when they're coming back. But when they do, they're gonna have new animation, new stories, manga canon galore, arcs to go off of. It's gonna be insane. But Boruto doesn't do it. Bleach, perfect example. Bleach came back 12 episodes. I had to make sure that I was still recording because if I went on this rant again and it wasn't recording, I would have cried. But Bleach, perfect example. Bleach came back with 12, 13 episodes, I think. Perfect, amazing. My favorite anime from the fall season last year. It was awesome. And that's saying something when Mob Psycho was there. Like, when Bleach came back and it was 13, 12 episodes, that was what I needed. I am so glad that they didn't do the same format that they did 10 years ago when it was, oh, let's do consistency over quality. And they just make episodes that are just dragged out and padded, and then there's filler, and then there's anime canon, and it's just like, I do not need to see this. You are wasting my time and you're wasting your time making this. We don't need this. We do not need it at all. And that's what Boruto's doing right now. It's using an old formula that doesn't work anymore. Like, people's attention spans are a lot smaller now. We're all stupid. We're all dumb. We don't need that anymore. Getting it in controlled bursts keeps the retention high for when it comes back, and it also keeps the interest high as well. Like, I'm more interested in Demon Slayer coming back because of how peak that last season was than I am of Boruto coming back, even though the ending of it was good. Like, I, it just to me it makes more sense. And granted, my weight isn't the end all be all. Of course, it's not. But I'm not alone in my thinking. People think this too. And even if it's a minority who think it, I still prefer it. I just hope that they go down that route because there are perfect examples of shows that have done it and work perfectly. And I don't know, like, I just hope that they do that when they come back. When Boruto comes back, I really hope that they do the seasonal format. But for my rating for this show, because of that, because of how you heard me talk about the anime and filler, it's a 6.5. Like, the manga is amazing. The manga canon that is animated is amazing. The worst one being the most recent one because it was short and the first half of that manga canon was kind of slow. But it like the manga canon in general is the best part of the show, and that's amazing. That's the only part that it should be, you know? I can't give it anything higher than a 7 or anything higher than a 6.5 because it's just so much to trudge through and just muddying through all this to get to the good parts. It's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. You know, I'm tired of that. Like, I don't want to go through 300 episodes of content just to get to the good stuff. Like, that's not what I want to see at all, you know? And it's like you can say the same thing for One Piece, but like One Piece is different because it's all manga canon. You're not trudging through bad stuff to get to good stuff because it's anime to manga. No, it's all manga. So you can literally say arguably that it's all peak, depending on who you ask. But with Boruto, it's not like that. It doesn't have that luxury to fall back on. And that sucks. Genuinely, that sucks. But I have to give it a 6.5. Animation could be great, but not always. The characters can be great, but not always. Story can be great, but not always. And overall, the show can be really great, but not always. And all of those can be attributed to the consistency over quality format that they go with. But let me go into the manga canon, or excuse me, the spoiler section now. Spoiler free section over. I'm only going to talk about the manga canon. I am not talking about the anime canon and filler because I have forgotten most of it, and if I do, I'm going to be here for an hour. So, manga canon, Momoshiki. Let's start with him. That arc was amazing. It was such a good way to introduce the show and just having it grab people's attention and get interest in it already, you know, because it's following up off of the Kaguya stuff that happened in original Shippuden. And it's like having Momoshiki be a threat, if not a bigger threat than Kaguya, was so fire. And then having Boruto have place in that show, having like, oh, you know, I'm not strong yet, but I will be. and he had a vital part in it, and it's super cool. Like, it shows that the younger generation has a place in this generation. They will be the future of this world, so they should be nurtured and taught and shown how to defend it. All because you live in a peaceful world doesn't mean that you can't be ready to defend it. You can't be over prepared. You have to be prepared. So having them be shown here and having them be prepared in the Momoshiki stuff was really cool, and just seeing how it all builds up, how Momoshiki attacks the Junin exams, the Chonin exams, I forgot what it's called. But seeing Boruto's character development, I enjoyed it. I thought people were kind of harsh on him because he's not gonna be Naruto too. He's gonna be his own man, and his own man is being just what's the word? Ungrateful. Realizing that what he has is a lot more than what his father and his mother had when they were growing up. He's lucky to not be in war, and he doesn't realize that. So he has to be shown, like, yo, your dad is a legend. The fact that you underappreciate him is crazy. You need to understand that your dad protects this village because of you and your family. And while he loves the people in this village, like they're his entire family, you're his primary family first and foremost. That at the end of the day, that's the end all be all. He cares about you more than you would ever know, you know. So just give him some slack when he's not able to do things. And while Naruto has some slimy moments in the beginning, where like he doesn't show up to Himawari's birthday, he misses out on a lot of events. Like it's understandable why he can't. The man is the president of his village, basically. Like the man's basically the equivalent of the president. It's hard to try to multitask, let alone sacrificing your duties for your family. It's hard to find a compromise. But again, I really like Momoshiki and just that whole arc. So wow, okay. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Next is Ishiki, and even better, genuinely even better arc. Having the younger generation be more prevalent, having the older generation struggle. Like I feel like people when they look at this show and they think about Naruto and Sasuke, they look at how they got nerfed and how yeah, they did. They genuinely did. But this is because they're not the main characters of the show anymore. Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki, Kawaki are. So you have to move up in that generation. And granted, there are better ways of doing that. Like I feel like the way that they've written this and the way that they're coming into their own, it is a little like they're getting powers while the other generation are losing powers. It's like okay, you've written a strong character who's hard to beat that Naruto and Sasuke can't beat. So what do? You give Naruto, or excuse me, Boruto and Kawaki a power boost, and it's like, okay, that's kind of whack. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's kind of whack. But I still enjoyed it wholeheartedly because this arc is better than Momoshiki in almost every facet. I gotta give it to him. It's cool, and it leads to Naruto or Boruto and Kawaki going into their own, becoming their own people, and just making their own decisions, not having to rely on their parents anymore. And it's really cool. Genuinely really cool. I think I'm getting sick. I don't know. But regardless, I. Wow. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry about that. I don't know why my niece screams about anything. It's weird. Super weird. But regardless, next to the coach stuff, and the coach stuff was alright. I give it a 7. Oh, I get the Shiki stuff, I give it an 8.5. The coach stuff, though, it was good, but it wasn't great. I feel like it underdelivered in the first half of it. Oh man, but the second half of it, it really delivered. I feel like it really delivered. Not over delivered, but it delivered for sure. And it just goes to show that I feel like this arc would have been better, the code stuff, if if it had that seasonal format. But for right now, what we have, I just have to take it or leave it. So it is what it is. But I enjoyed the second half, especially the ending of the last episode that we watched, like of today when I'm or well March 26th when I'm recording this. I feel like that ending really hyped up how crazy Naruto, or excuse, I keep calling him Naruto. It's because, oh my gosh, they literally look the same. But how Boruto versus Kawaki is gonna be in the future, because that's how the show started, and I wonder if that's how the show's gonna end. But it's gonna be so hype when that happens. This arc though, I feel like the first half, the downtime, kind of underdelivered. The second half delivered just fine, and it was fire. You know, I generally enjoyed it, but it was a seven compared to Ishiki and Momoshiki. It's a seven. But yeah, you know, overall the show has great animation when it wants to, has amazing story when it follows the manga canon, has awesome characters when it follows the manga canon, it has a great experience when it follows the manga canon. People dislike this show a lot, they rag on it on Twitter a lot, and I understand, you know, I understand. Death threats, I do not understand. But regardless, this show can be so much better, and that's why I'm so rough on it, I'm so hard on it, because it has the potential, but it's not reaching that potential, and it sucks, you know? Genuinely hurts to see. But I can't wait. I'm gonna tune in to part two when it comes out, whenever that comes out. We don't know when that's happening, but I am gonna be there, and I'm gonna give my opinions on it. So until then, this has been Infamous Isaac. Hope y'all enjoy. And again, this is a 6.5 show. It's hard to recommend it. I'd honestly just recommend the manga more than just watching the show. And if you do watch the show, watch it with a filler guide and an anime canon guide, because that's the only way to make it watchable at this point. But regardless, let me know what you guys think down below. What do you think about my opinions? What do you think about the show? What do you think about if it should be seasonal or what's the word? Consistent. Let me know down below. But this has been Infamous Isaac. Hope y'all enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.